are here at the Stop the Violence event in Macon, Georgia. In the Mix with Mel, we're going to talk to Pastor Blackshear. We're going to talk to the Platinum Writers who created this event to combat violence in Macon and the community as well. So stay tuned.
Smooth. Appreciate y'all for having me out here today. And I just want to say, in regards to the Stop the Violence, I am a young brother from Macon, Georgia. I'm from East Macon. I couldn't have easily went that wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Been out there in the streets killing. Chose to use my talent in music to advance further and in a more organic and constructive way. A lot of people don't have an outlet. So I just always say to the youth, man, find your outlet, whether it be sports, business, making money, but do it the right way, you know what I'm saying, or music, do it through art. I'm an art person, so I always push people to do art, but if you have your own way, make sure you find your outlet to let the anger, let the stress and the frustration go, because I know how it can be. We all human, we ain't perfect, but everyone need that outlet, so I'm just going to say, let's just stop the violence, because you got a bigger picture, you get what I'm saying, for sure.
All right, you guys, we are here In the Mix with Mel. As you can see, we are with the Platinum Writers. So we're at the Stop the Violence Macon event, a very, very, very peaceful event, but it's very impactful as well. Let's go ahead and talk to the founders of it. You guys, go ahead and start off with Mr. Brandon Pope. Who are you? What do you do?
All right, my name is Brandon Pope. I'm the CEO of Platinum Writers Car Club in Macon, Georgia. We just hit our 1 year mark on November the 9th. It's a organization I decided to start based off of, the interaction of our community, building up our community, finding different barriers that kids are having to try to keep them off the streets and in school and getting jobs. So, the CEO of Platinum Writers Car Club.
My name is Nikayla Bentley, and I'm the COO of Platinum Writers Car Club. Like Brandon mentioned, I was also here for his vision when he brought the idea to me about starting a car club, not only just about the cars that we have, but about impacting the community in a positive way.
And I'm Anthony Underwood, Prospect Manager with Platinum Writers Car Club. I'm not an original founder. So I've been with them for a few months now, and I handle all the new prospects and take care of everything there.
I love it. Platinum Writers, I love it, you guys. So let's talk about the Stop the Violence event. So what was the goal of this? As you can see from the footage, it was very, very impactful, but what was the goal of it though?
Our goal was to spread the knowledge of the importance of trying not to keep with the black on black crimes. Right now in Macon, Georgia, we're on 47 homicides as of today for the entire year. So the number keeps growing and growing. We have different groups and different community organizations in Macon where they do the different rallies where they stand at the corner of different streets. They get in contact with local pastors, the Sheriff David Davis, our mayor, Lester Miller, and they kind of have their signs up and they're trying to get that message to all of our youth. It's not even youth, of course, most of it is the younger age that's committing all the crimes, but we're trying to get the picture Georgia out to everybody in the community. There are different things you can do. You got jobs, people got families to take care of. If you're not in school, you can be working on a trade. Different type of things that you can do to stay out of trouble.
I agree with that. Okay. So when it comes to Macon, what's your vision for the Stop the Violence events? And maybe you're not going to call it Stop the Violence, but what is your vision for these events, though?
Our vision for these events is to just let people know that there are different outlets here in Macon Big that they can take. Like Brandon mentioned, also jobs. But with the car club, we wanted to introduce it to the community to let them know that you can join. Car club, bike club, any type of club that gets you out of the streets.
That's some nice cars, yo. That's really nice cars.
That cuts down on violence and that just gives people something to do instead of just resorting to violence.
Right, and it was mentioned, I think it was the pastor mentioned it, basically, the kids need some outlet. People need, not just kids, but people need an outlet.
Right,
they need an outlet, something to do, like something that a hobby or a job or something like that. Because if you're just sitting, I feel this myself, you guys. If you just sit there, your mind starts working in negative ways,
right.
and then you start doing negative things that happens, whether you have anxiety or you literally commit crimes.
Right.
You gotta have something that you're doing regularly. And I feel like with Macon, it is more poverty stricken, right? Of course, no one chose that. No one chooses to say, hey, I want to be broke. No one chooses that, but it's also a domino effect, and that's a whole other conversation we get into the Macon area. But that being said, do you think it is super important to have some kind of organization, group, something that you work towards to keep yourself busy? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like she said, just not just car clubs, any type of organization. Mm-hmm. Just a group of people getting together for a greater good, to get people off the streets specifically.
Right.
So, absolutely.
I really feel that. So what are some tips? Let's say we have like some parents who are like, oh man, I live in Macon. I have a fear that my kid's gonna be a victim or victimize somebody because it's just the environment. There's not a lot for me to put my kid into. What are some tips that you would give them?
We'll say to go, of course, you got the school as an option. Me growing up here in Macon, everybody asked me, how was I a part of so much? My mom had me in Taekwondo, I was playing soccer, I was in a marching band, reading the announcements, even on up to college, because I have my own business. I have 3 different businesses, Bounce House.
You better drop that stuff.
Yeah, that's what I tell you. And so I run my businesses, college graduate, pretty much is working with the radio station. So I have different things. You got community organizations, you can start your own business, you got college. What are you going to do after high school and to make an impact?
Yeah.
So of course we all don't want to, some people want to stay, some people don't, but of course you always want to come back and support and help those that fed you and help you get all the knowledge that you know back here in Macon, Georgia.
I love that. It really is. I really like that because it's you gotta kind of make your kid busy. You do.
Yeah.
Have to make your kid busy or else idle hands start.
There you go.
They really do. So let's talk about you guys' movement. So I want to talk about how hard it was to get this going. As entrepreneurs, let's talk about that. So what in the back end of things, what did you have to do? Don't give us a whole thing because I know it was hard. But let's talk about that as an entrepreneur, you guys, as a group. And it's usually I interview people who are one person, one entrepreneur, but it's a group effort. That's incredible that you guys came on the same page. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So what was the process like trying to get to this point with your event?
Like I said, we all come from different backgrounds. We all are involved in different things, but Anthony was very instrumental in putting this event together.
Okay.
He reached out to a lot of the local businesses out here, and they were able to sponsor the event. So if you want to just speak on the sponsors.
Absolutely. So I was not the actual originator of the Stop the Violence event. Let's be very clear on that. One of our former members who didn't actually show up today, but that's all right. We show her some love regardless. But she was pretty adamant about getting it started. I just think she didn't know how to get it started. So
that's one of those things. But that's why you have multiple minds.
Right,
because
absolutely.
one person may have a vision, one person knows how to execute it, but they don't know how to have a vision. So it's important to have.
She chose me to execute it.
Hey,
But
look
it
at you,
was
bro.
just simple, just reaching out to people. Like she said, everything was sponsored, with the exception of the bouncy house and the DJ. Everything else was 100% sponsored. Just reach out to the people, told them our mission, what we wanted to have done for the event, and everyone was just on board.
I I
So
love it.
Pastor Blackshear being one of them, letting us use his
Mr.
ground.
Blackshear, yes.
That's right.
Yeah,
He's
so-
Pastor Dean. He wants to make a school, y'all.
Yeah,
He wants
and
to make a
everyone's
school.
been great. Cornelian Jones, all of our guest speakers that came out, just giving their time for free, just because they have the same mission as us. They just want to get these kids off the streets. Get everyone
Right.
off the streets.
Yes,
Yeah.
everyone, and there's so much potential. I feel like Macon is one of the most untapped artistic places I've ever been to. I've been to a lot of places.
Yeah.
It's just that, and I say it all the time, they just don't have a direction and how
Yeah,
to
right.
actually manifest
That's
what
it.
they want.
How to execute it.
Yeah.
I've been to a lot of places as well. I've lived in a lot of different places, and there's so much talent that goes unrecognized. Especially for people who don't have, if someone say they didn't finish high school or didn't finish college, they don't have that background, so they don't really know how to execute things. So
Oh my gosh, agreed so
Yeah.
much so. So you guys, go ahead and tell about yourselves, where they can reach each one of you, because I'm sure you all got your own hustles, you know, reaching you. Mr. Brown Cole, I'll start with you, because, you know, CEO.
All right, so my social media on Instagram is pretty much one DJ brand. So if you Google my name on Facebook, type in Brennan Pope, Macon, Georgia, and everything will come right up as far as my Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel, even the car club. So just Brennan Pope on Macon, Georgia on Google.
Yes, like I said, my name is Michaela, but you can reach me on my social media pages at Kayla Bentley. And you can also reach out to our club Instagram pages at Platinum Riders Official. I check those daily, Facebook and Instagram. So if you want to DM me on those pages, they come directly to my phone.
And I'm on Facebook, Anthony Underwood, just my regular name. Instagram, Anthony_Pierre1.
Okay, I like it. Okay. So what if you have someone who's a sponsor and you're like, I think I want to team up with their movement to help with an event. How would
Yes,
they contact you?
please do. We appreciate you.
Yes, they would contact us on our Facebook page or Instagram. Like I said, it's at Platinum Riders Official. They would just reach out to us. We have a Google form they can fill out, and we'll just get the ball rolling from there.
Okay,
We also
yes.
have Cash App if anyone
Yes.
wants to sponsor or donate.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, you know the Cash App, right?
Cash App is at Platinum Riders, so $ Platinum Riders. And like she said, if you go on there on our social medias, everything is on there as far as the point of contact for the number, our Platinum Riders at gmail.com. All of that information is on there.
Awesome. As you can see, I put the information on the bottom of the screen. So you guys support them. Now, oh God, I was gonna ask, what do you guys got planned for the future as Platinum Riders?
So we can't really speak specifically. We can't speak because I believe in,
Anonymity or
put it out there. We want to kind of save it. It's going to be a
I got you. I
lots of
feel
things,
that.
lots
Yeah,
of things
protect
to
your
make.
energy. I'm
Yeah,
big
and
on
we are hitting the ground running in 2022. We have so much coming up, and we actually have met some sponsors today. Actually, that are
What? I was just about to say that.
Great
We're gonna
networking
sponsor.
today. Today's been really successful.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we're excited. 2022, we are coming for y'all. Be ready.
My
Babe.
goal is every 3 months to try to do something big. Just pretty much every 3 months, look around the season. So of course we got the first of the year coming up. Around April, we usually have kids getting out of school. So maybe we're able to come up with some grant money to do a couple scholarships or something for the kids. Then 3 months after they get out of school, they're going back to school. So we can practice on back to school drives. I know that's a big thing that we do here in the community. 3 months down the line, Thanksgiving and Christmas right around the corner. So we're all about giving back every 3 months.
I love that. You guys be on the lookout. Follow their Instagram, Facebook, like their Facebook page. I did. They have their announcements there. So follow them, support them. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with.
Yes, we're very excited.
It's a really, really good event. Before we go ahead and close out, you guys, let's go ahead and thank the people who came in. I know Mr. Leon Jones came here, right?
Yes,
Yes.
from Leon Jones came. Commissioner Virgil Watkins came.
James.
Yes, we also want to thank T Love for hosting the
T Love.
Yes,
He
for
did
hosting
amazing.
the event. We want to thank B Love for DJing the event. We want to thank Marco's Pizza for coming out, not only sponsoring but helping serve the food.
Come.
Yes, coming out. Texas Roadhouse. We want to thank the Bibb County Sheriff's Department for also securing the premises. We want to thank Bibb County Fire Department for also coming to bring the truck to make sure we had no.
That was cool. That was
no
cool, y'all.
hazards.
Yeah.
So whole the firefighters was like, this is cool.
Yes. Yes, we want to thank everybody that came out. We want to thank DeMarco McDonald for giving us that wonderful
My
selection.
goodness.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of sponsors that we thanked, of course, at the event, but
Right.
everyone, like I said,
You guys, they have so many people. You guys don't feel left out. They didn't mention you. Y'all,
Yeah.
they did so much today. Their coordination was on point. There was like a lot of stuff going on.
Try.
All right, you guys. Before we go ahead and head out, do you want to give some parting words to your audience? Some positive parting words.
Positive parting words. Yes.
All right, you guys, we are back with In the Mix. As you can see, Mr. Brandon is not here. It's okay, because we're going to have Anthony give the parting words. Y'all, they're super busy for the Platinum Riders. They're everywhere. It's like trying to herd cats, as they say, you know, trying to get them in one place. So, but we were about to close out. And Mr. Anthony, go ahead and give some positive words to the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I want to thank you guys so much. Everyone that's tuned in for us, everyone that's been there, all of our sponsors, everyone that came out today to enjoy our day with us. We have worked so hard to let our community know, and really that is the best thing. We just want our community to know that we are here for you guys. We are regular, everyday people. Just because we're part of a car club does not make us any different. We're all exceptional in our own different ways. One of the things we did talk about was having the knowledge or the resources to do things, and so that's really what it's all about. There's so much talent just in the Macon area, and I know plenty of people as well. So it's just really about getting yourself out there. So if you guys ever need anyone, we just to talk to, if you have any events that you need help planning or doing anything, please reach out to us on our social media, so that we can, yes, please, so that we can help you. You know, we want you guys to know that we're definitely here for you.
Yes, that was very sweet. I love it. You guys, it was such a genuine event. I really feel like I didn't stress like, oh my God, someone's gonna start something and I gotta go. Like that's, you know how it is. That's
I was on edge the entire time.
like someone's gonna start something and there's gonna be something. Yeah.
Everything worked out amazing.
But it went down amazing. You guys planned it so well, and you guys, I was watching you guys. You guys were everywhere. Like everywhere.
We're still everywhere trying to finish
everywhere, as you can see, you guys. But again, Anthony, on behalf of Platinum Crown, Platinum Writers. Why do you keep saying Platinum Crown? There's another, y'all. It's a whole story.
That's
Platinum
all
Crown
right.
Management, Platinum Writers. But on behalf of Platinum Writers,
Yes.
I know that you have a heart of gold, and it spreads out to the other members as well. Thank you so much for coming on In the Mix
Thank
with Mel,
you.
and I'm looking forward to coming to your next event.
Absolutely.
We're not going to put it in the air yet. We're not going to announce it, but when it's there, we're
Yes.
gonna be
Oh, it's coming, baby. We're coming to
yes, coming 2022. This is 2.
Right.
2. You guys, thank you so much again for tuning up In the Mix with Mel. So you guys, I want you to be positive. Find something to do that helps other people, not just yourself, you know. Community is everything. It's what makes you as a person. But until then, be positive, make positive decisions, and peace out. Hey you guys, it's In the Mix with Mel. As you can see, I'm in different attire. Why do you think I'm in different attire? It's because I didn't get audio from the first interview with Mr. Pastor Blackshear. He was gracious enough for me to come back and me refilm his interview for the Stop the Violence event in Macon. So, how are you doing though?
Wonderful, how are you?
I'm great. Apart from no audio coming from the first interview, it was heartbroken, y'all. It was heartbroken. I was like, on top of that, he's a pastor. I was like, I just messed things up royally. Oh my God, God's looking down at me. He's like, Melanie, why'd you do that? But I was redeemed, and he let me come. He was like, yeah, come by. I was like, okay. All right, but so in regards to Stop the Violence event in Macon, Georgia, as you can see, we got a lot of footage from it, and Mr. Blackshear, it was on his what do I want to call it? Your field, your
Church property.
Your church property, right? I'm talking like your field, your church property. So, but you contributed to that, and that is what really made the event. Because without a location, you can't really have an event, right? You can't have an event. So, tell us why you wanted to contribute to the Stop the Violence event.
Well, as a church and as a spiritual institution, the church is supposed to be an institution that increases the elements of God inside of all of our lives. So God is a God of love, a God of peace, a God of morals and ethics. And so whenever there's an opportunity to help contribute to something that will produce the nature of God in men, that is something that, as being a man of God, that I should be a part of, because that's reflective of my divine Father.
It is. I like that. I like that. So in regards to Stop the Violence, the event, because if you guys don't know, in Macon, Georgia, the per capita, the violence rate is really high. It is really high. What do you think that Macon can do to try to curb that?
It's going to first start in the home. Morals and ethics have to be the focal point of all individuals. A person cannot put immorality and bad ethics to a beat and think that it's going to produce righteous fruit.
You're right.
You cannot join a particular organization or a club that stands in immorality and think that it's going to produce the fruit of righteousness. If righteousness and righteous living is not at the forefront of the individual, then immorality and all sins alike will be produced, because that's really what you're training yourself to be, is an immoral person, because of the activities that you associate yourself with. So if we're going to stop violence in Macon, there has to be a moral push. There has to be, and I'm not saying that you have to be Christian or Muslim or whatever, but there are certain things that are across the board, as far as honoring your mother and father.
Yes.
Do not be a child that wants to bring shame to your parents.
Right.
Taking care of your children if you do have them.
Right. Yes.
Being kind and doing good as often as you have opportunity to. If there is a moral push and an ethical push, not a racial push, not a economic push, but a moral push, a lot of these things that we see now wouldn't be.
I feel that as well. Now I want to get into Macon, the area of Macon. So, as you guys know, if you are viewing this and you know Macon, Georgia, that most of it is the good part of Macon is being pushed north.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like the real world, the brown people, is kind of being forgotten, which is contributing to this discord. I feel like Macon, yes, we have the events, but Macon itself needs to also pay attention to your people.
I would ask the question, does money buy morality?
That's a bit of money by morality.
And the reason why I would ask that question is because how much money do I have to be decent?
Really, all the money in the world, I feel like all the money in the world will not make a decent person.
And so if money is the determining factor, then do I get a pass because I'm poor?
No, I get what you're saying. I see where you're going with that. I see what you're saying. You're still some accountability. Even if you're poor, you still have accountability for your actions.
And when I understood the story of my grandparents and the story of my parents, they were raised very poor. But they had love in the home, they had respect, they had discipline, they had order. And they was taught to work very hard. Those things have sort of been abandoned by these Instagram dreams that people are selling.
He's right. He's really right. No, it really is. It's a false reality.
It's a terrible false reality. And Ben Carson, he was working at the White House, but when I was a kid, my mom made me read his book.
Really?
And I saw how he wasn't raised at the most advantageous situation. But what happened was, when you know where you are, his mother created a lifestyle to get him out of where he was, and she did the best she could on her level.
Right.
But it was the influence of parental guidance to guide him out of a way of living she didn't want her child to be in. And as in Macon, Georgia, parents have to make sure that they're not guiding their children to repeat a cycle, but guiding them out of the cycle.
I agree with that, because I noticed that, even with people who are close to me, who are older than me, I've noticed that they haven't gotten to a place where they can see outside of themselves to possibly take accountability within yourself. And I feel like if you don't take accountability within yourself, you cannot see your mistakes. So then you'll tell someone to go in the same path that you went on to get there, rather than don't go that direction.
And then there's a passage of scripture in the Bible that I never forget. Passage of scripture says people love darkness rather than light. And I would ask myself, how does a person love darkness? And the Bible teaches things like your feet are swift to run to evil. So whenever there's discourse, or whenever there is an opportunity to do something that you really shouldn't have your business doing, you shouldn't make it your business to run and do unethical activity.
Wow.
But you should run from unethical activity.
Right.
But if you do run to it, as a Christian preacher, I live by the book, it's clear the wages of sin is death. And so I try to push morals and ethics and values and push that there is a world that we cannot see with the natural eye. And we can ask for divine assistance to help us on this journey. But if we do not ask for divine assistance and we negate the assistance that our Creator left here for us, then we're doomed before we even get started.
Wow, that's deep, you guys. That was very, very deep. I love that. And people need to follow that because it's the youth, not just in Macon, but in general, with our generation. Y'all, I know I'm young-ish, but no, it really is. There's a lot of guidance that's needed. Everybody wants instant gratification. Instant gratification, getting that is very simple, tawdry things.
Yes.
But let's talk about you as a pastor. Like, how did you become a pastor? What made you want to become a pastor? Who are you, Mr. Blackshear?
True story.
True story.
My pastor sort of tricked me into becoming a pastor.
Really?
It was a total trick. I need to sue him. But
It was a blessing. I mean, it came to something good. So. He's made. So you said someone tricked you, and his face looked like, oh no, but you know.
Donald Chambers Jr. You owe me a lot of money and a lot of time back. But no, I was groomed in Statesboro, Georgia.
Okay.
And there were two brothers that were powerhouses. When I got there, the founder of the church was Anthony Chambers Jr. Anthony Chambers, I'm sorry, not a junior. He was very influential in Timon and me, who I am today. And he passed the church along to his brother Donald Chambers Jr. And he took me up under his wing. I became a armor bearer. I was his driver. I did his laundry. I had books. I was a servant before I was a leader.
Really?
I would sweep the church, vacuum the church.
So you know the church inside out, basically, from the back end of thing, which I feel like anything, if you're trying to be a leader of anything, you got to know from the bottom of it to the top.
Well, I learned the true intent. The true intent is not the building, but the people. So waking up in the middle of the night, being with families while loved ones pass, or going to the jail to get people out because they've done stuff they didn't have any business doing, or whenever there were family uproars, the preacher would be there the first on the scene. So I learned that the value of church is not the building, but the people.
Right.
And if you don't love the people, then you'll look at them as a burden instead of a ministry.
That is true. And you know, what do they say? A house is just a house, but a home is with the people. Same thing with the church, I feel like, right? It's the people that make the building a church.
Yes. Yes. And the church is a community. The first century church, you know, Christians were persecuted extremely bad.
Yeah, it's crazy, yeah.
But they bonded together. And when they bonded together, they took great delight in loving one another, not fighting with one another, not being jealous of one another, but loving one another and coming up under the umbrella of the Christian doctrine, what Jesus Christ taught. And we can have heaven right here on earth if we allow the will of the Father to live in us. I would have no problem loving you and you loving me and being kind and helping. It would be no problem. We can have heaven right here on earth.
Right. I mean, we really could. It's just, you know, the other worldly things that detract people from making it simple and peaceful. I feel that. Well, so you were talking to me when I first came in here. You were saying that you wanted to, like, your vision for the people is like a school, being like Dean Blackshear.
I believe that by us being created in the image and likeness of God, that there's a power in most of us that we have not tapped into.
Right.
And the limitations that we put on our lives are mostly the limitations that are set by our societal standards. And if society says this is inappropriate, we don't do it. If society doesn't agree with this, we don't wear this, we don't talk like this, we don't move like this. But whenever you're into God, God is above society. He's above it, far beyond it, and he sees in the future. And so I believe that if we are willing to break the societal norms, then we're able to really embrace what God is trying to do. So I had the dream years ago that as far as my black community, I wanted to figure out how can I return them to some form of normalcy. And normalcy means that I love for young people to have children, but I love for them to have children when they are able to take care of the child.
Right. That's true. Yes, I agree.
And there are foundations for them because we're young people to start having a family and things. But most of my brothers and sisters, according to the flesh, they do not have the means to to be what they're trying to be. So it's always a struggle and so on and so on. Well, I was raised in private school all of my life.
Really?
Yes. And I remember being in the 7th grade, we were doing college algebra. And the first time I took SAT, I made a 15, 20, 14, 80 or something like that. But that was in the 9th grade.
Wow.
I could have passed the graduation test because I was a year ahead at 14.
Wow.
He's
smart, bruh.
Long time ago.
No, it's smart.
But if I would have passed the graduation test at 14 and went to college, I would have been a college graduate by 18.
Right.
And it would have took 2 or 4 more years for my specialty. So by the time I was 22 years old, I would hope to be making well over $100,000 a year.
Because you would have already been in your specialty.
I would
Yeah.
have been in my specialty. I would have had the energy. I would have had the mind to be innovative. I could have got married, had children, and it would have been great. And so I know if I could do it, and there's nothing special about me, I know that my community can also do the same thing.
Right. I agree.
And if we had like a boarding school that went all year round, that taught health, that taught diet, that taught martial arts, that taught spirituality, that taught reading, writing, arithmetic, and we taught it on a level, on a speed that sometimes you don't have to go according to the curriculum, but you can go a little bit faster. We could graduate our kids by like 14 or 15 because the only thing you have to do is pass the graduation test.
Right.
By the time they're 19 or 20, they're college graduates.
That is awesome. And I think that's feasible, honestly. Because if you look
It's
at it's a lot of private schools, they teach curriculum in high school that is college level. So it's pretty much, if you think about it, if they're teaching college level in high school, that means that they're already done with high school level stuff, probably like in junior high or, the freshman year or something like that. Yeah.
And once that is accomplished, with a private school setting, we're not teaching people to go be workers for someone else. We're teaching them to be world and game changers.
Yes.
And the way that I see the system now, they're dumbing the children down so bad until...
So to keep them the workers, because they need workers. I agree with that, yeah.
Yes. And that's why I think 1% of the world controls 80% of the world's wealth.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
It is. It's so disproportionate to everything. It's so disproportionate.
And it lowers our standards. So when we think we're making $50,000 or $60,000 a year, we
That's
feel like
a
we're
lot.
accomplished.
That's not.
It's not a lot.
It's not. I mean, if you think about it honestly, in the grand scheme of things, if you're ever trying to retire and have a decent life after retirement, that's not a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then with inflation, the dollar is going down because whatever they do in the White House automatically affects us. But I learned that wealth is when you can do what you want when you want and don't have to ask anybody's permission.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. You could just sit and have that residual income.
Yeah.
Oh. Yes. But I agree with that. No, that's a great ideology. I love it.
And what I would do is I would take older teachers and I would take teachers that have tenure in the game that have motherly and fatherly values, and I would let them come in and work with the children because they won't see them as a job, they'll see them as a ministry.
Yes.
And when you see someone as a job, when you're done with it, you're done with it. But when you see that these are my babies and these are our babies, you will gravitate to them, you will build a relationship with them, and you will do whatever it takes to make sure that they become successful.
I like that, and it kind of reminds me like kind of a mirror how people in corporations do things. They have nepotism, which isn't always great, nepotism.
Yes.
But they'll have like let's say Johnson and Johnson will have a brother. The person who's in the corporation have a brother and be like, okay, well my son's about to graduate from B school, business school, and come and bring him into Johnson and Johnson, and they look out for each other like a family. So they literally bring them up into it. Yeah. So yeah, I think
it is something so simple. We just have to apply ourselves.
Yeah.
And not keep being distracted by entertainment. Yes.
I agree. I 1000% agree because you gotta have a balance.
Yes.
Life is not that. What do we call it? The false reality.
Yes.
That is not life, you guys. We all know a real life, so it's important to take care of that because then you'll get to that point of all the glitz and the glamour, but you gotta take care of your real life.
Yes.
I agree with that.
Yes.
I'm going into another subject. But Mr. Blackshear, so what are your hopes for Macon in the future with these events? Because I know that the Platinum Writers, you guys, my mouth is like not working. And Platinum Writers are going to have more events for Stop the Violence and things of that nature. What are your hopes for Macon?
My hopes for Macon, by me being a pastor, is that I want Macon to have a spiritual awakening. I want the connect with a group of people who would like to see the revival spirit, the reviving of dead spirits. And they have a desire to see wholeness in the souls of men. And not self-seeking, not vainglory seeking, but connect with people that say, we need to do something that's good and positive despite our race, our color, and our creed, because we're all in this together.
Agreed.
And we cannot be separated, because divided we fall, but united we stand.
Right, and it's crazy because I'm like, the community, everybody in this community is the same level platform of why are you killing each other? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna get any like higher. It's not like, okay, you're gone, I'm at an elevated level. No, you're still here.
And the effects of the murder, the grieving families, entire families grieving.
Yes.
I just lost my first cousin, Daryl Howard, and my entire family is grieving. So can you imagine the despair when a knock is at the door and Coroner Leon Jones comes and say, hey, your child is dead? The entire family grieves, and you have to go through the rest of your life carrying this because tempers flare.
Right.
Somebody was on the wrong side of the track, it was a different color, and you're trying to prove how bad you are. And I realized nobody's better than the government prison system.
No.
The GBIs, the FBIs, and all the rest of them. They have a place for the bad ones. And that's something that we need to avoid. Reverend Ike, he was the money preacher. He gave great ideologies to help people. Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave great ideologies to help people. Bishop T.D. Chase gives great ideologies to help people. We need to gravitate the good that we hear and apply ourselves to it. Because what other option do we have?
Right.
If I forsake goodness, then what am I picking up? If I forsake righteousness, what am I picking up?
Right.
The exact opposite. And we know that will not produce any fruit.
No.
Not positive fruit.
No, just be honest, it'll make you deeper in the pit.
Yes.
Yeah, deeper in the pit, and then you're just so deep in there, you feel like you can't get out. That's where a lot of bad things happen with people, because they feel like they have nothing to lose. They don't have anything. Speaking of that, I feel like people need something, like a goal they work towards. Because when you feel like you don't have anything, it's kind of like you're just gonna run errands, just everywhere.
And for people, when you don't have a lot of options in life, you feel like you don't have options. But knowledge brings options.
It does. It
Knowledge
does.
brings a lot of options. I believe it was when Bitcoin first came out, if you would have invested $100 in it, I think now you would have like $89 million or something like that.
Oh my God, yes. No, if you would, like what, $100 was first when it came out, probably what, been like maybe 10,000 Bitcoins. And then, so yeah, you would have had a million.
You would have been a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that kind of information is something that you have to gravitate towards.
You have to seek it out, yeah.
And if you do not gravitate towards information that will help your life, then it will always be a degraded life. Because we have options. We're the information age. Google it.
Yeah, I mean, really, and to tie into the Bitcoin thing, if you think about it, yeah, people didn't really take it seriously, such as things in real life. In your life, you don't take seriously, but in time, it becomes more serious, whether positive or negative. You know what I mean? So, and the knowledge of maybe doing a good habit every day, working out or being positive, reading your Bible, doing whatever, it will pay off in the long run in a very big way.
It will.
Oh, man. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. Do you have any? Well, first before we wrap it up, let's say someone wants to come to your church or want to reach you. They want some guidance. How would they reach you?
You can always inbox me. My name is Daniel Blackshear, and Pastor Word and Deed Ministries, 4600 Mercer University Drive. We have Sunday service every Sunday at 9:30. We have Bible study every Thursday at 6:30. But I'm a very personal guy. I love the people. I love helping the people. You could reach me anytime. DM, go on my Instagram, go on my Facebook, talk to me personally. I want to talk to you. And easy to reach.
Where's the address of your church?
4600 Mercer University Drive.
4600 Mercer University Drive.
Thriving metropolis of Macon, Georgia.
Metropolis, downtown, y'all. Well, side of the downtown, but yeah, downtown Macon, y'all. It's really cute. I like the church. It's very peaceful. Has great vibes. Great vibes. All right, you want to give some parting words of inspiration, aspiration to the audience before we go ahead and close out?
Yes, I just want to let you know that you're not in this by yourself. You're not in life by yourself. There's divine assistance that is waiting on you, but you got to reach out and grab it. It's almost like you have a great inheritance that you never claimed. All you have to do is to apply yourself to who God made you to be, not what society and your surroundings groomed you to be, but tap into who God actually made you to be. And there's a whole new world that will open up for you. And it will not only bless you, but it'll bless your children, your children's children, your children's children's children. It'll bless your generation. We can change the fate of who we are if we awaken ourselves to who God made us to be. And we can receive all the blessings that the Bible and all the blessings that life has to offer us. And that is how we will succeed and come up. But we got to embrace who God made us to be. God does not make gang members. Gang members make gang members. God does not make prostitutes. Pimps make prostitutes. God does not make swindlers. They're taught by other crooks how to be swindlers. God makes that which is righteous, holy, that which is prospering, that which is wealthy, that which is under divine instructions. So remember, be what God made you to be, not what society made you to be, and watch God move in your life.
Wow, y'all. I can say wow for a long time. That was really inspiring. I love that.
Thank you.
Be who you were meant to be, which was essentially pure from the very get-go. Out of the womb, you were pure. Of course,
Yes.
the world, puts its burdens on us.
Yes, it does.
Does all that stuff, unfortunately. But still, you can always get back to your roots, I feel like.
Yes.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you for
letting me
having me.
interview you. It was
having
really, I like the vibe here. It's very peaceful. It feels like I'm being cleansed when I talk to you. It really does. It really does. But you guys, if you wanted to, I would encourage you to reach out to Mr. Blackshear, Pastor Blackshear, future Dean Blackshear, and talk to him. He's there for you. He's very personable. I mean, this is his calling. He's really good at his calling, you guys.
And I wanna say this. I'm writing an article in Oh Yes magazine.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, OYEZ magazine.
What? Tell us about that.
It's a magazine that was started by an incredible lady named Cheryl Ray.
Okay.
She is the wife of Dr. Gary Ray, Sr. And he has been an extreme blessing to my life because as a young preacher, I always looked to older preachers for guidance. Very spiritual guy. But his wife came up with a magazine. It's a great magazine. She just released her first edition. Lawrence will and I'll be in the second edition. And I'll be posting that to my Facebook page. And the article is entitled, Can America Survive Without God?
Oh, can America survive without God? That is deep. You guys, look at his article. When do you know? Do you know when the our magazine's coming out?
It's not, but just be on the lookout for
Okay.
it.
We will be on the lookout for that. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you
Congratulations.
very
He was already posing for his cover. He's like, yes. GQ. Yes. I love it though. Okay, we'll be on the lookout for that. You guys support Mr. Blackshear in the movement and stop the violence in Macon as well with the Platinum Writers as well. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in to In the Mix with Mel. Thank you again to Mr. Blackshear. Until then, be positive, make positive decisions, be safe, and peace out.
Peace out.